we'll start international marketing with the definition. As you can see in the slide, the definition of international marketing is far more different from that of the general definition of marketing. Basically, it tends to say that um, the marketing of goods and services which are marketed across the political boundaries are basically called as international marketing. And international marketing basically is application of marketing principles by industries in one or more country, and it is possible for the companies to conduct business in almost any country around the world. And in simple words, international marketing can be defined as trading of goods and services among different countries, and the procedure of planning and executing the rates, promotion and distribution of products and services is the same worldwide. And uh, if you want to see with respect to the textbook definition of international marketing, it is considered as the performance of business activities that direct the flow of a company's goods and services to the consumers or the users in more than one nation for profit purpose. It is also being called as international marketing. And in recent times, companies are not restricted to only to the national borders, uh, but are open for international marketing. With increasing changes in consumer demands, choices, preferences, and tastes, the economies are expanding and giving way to more competitive marketing. Thus, it becomes evident for the organization need to respond to these rapid demands of our customers with well-defined marketing strategies. And if you want to have a overall overview of international marketing, we tend to see the major participants in international marketing are the multinational corporations, where MNC is an organization that ensures the production of goods and services in one or more countries other than its home country. And such organizations have their offices, help desk, or industrial setups across nations, and usually have a centralized head office where they coordinate the global management. And the second way of having international marketing is through exports, and they are the overseas sellers who sell the products and provide the services across the home country by following the necessary jurisdiction. And the other way of having international marketing is to import goods, and these are the overseas buyers who buy the products and services from the exporters by complying with the jurisdiction. And an import by one nation is an export for another nation. That is how simply international marketing tries to define to itself. And apart from that, even the service companies nowadays generate revenue by trading on services and not on physical commodities, but purely based on services. Say, for example, India has got a very greater potential with respect to service sectors. In that case, we export a larger chunk of services to uh, the other countries like US market and other global marketplace, such as IT and IT related services. And many company believes that their targets are limited if they only concentrate on a single market like US. Unlike market and global marketplace is getting more and more competitive. Thus, to enrich the market presence, such companies are always on a lookout for better opportunities worldwide. So these are the basic aspects or overview of international marketing. And next, when we look at the scope of international marketing, it starts off with imports, exports, contractual agreements, joint venturing, contract agreements, and fully owned manufacturing. So all these things provide an ample opportunity for a country to adopt international marketing, where just before this, we discussed on how imports will also contribute for international marketing, and how exports from one country and another country buys that product becomes as a import. All these things are mainly based on mutual agreements, or it is also called as contractual agreements, which tends to give more importance for both the imports and exports. and even countries are opening up their trade opportunities to have something like joint venturing, which involves some of the other international companies to come and collaborate with domestic companies, and that will in turn become as a joint venture. And some companies will also provide contractual agreement for manufacturing or for manufacturing and production of their goods and services for a agreed period of time. And some companies would also like to start off their own venture in some other foreign nations. Say, for example, Mercedes-Benz is operating on its own in India. Same with BMW and Audi. Likewise, these are companies which give ample opportunity to give a rise for something called as the scope of international marketing. And when we look at the importance of international marketing, we need to touch upon few of the things that usually helps the international market or the firms to expand with itself. And that the first one is to keep pace with the competition. Always, international marketing provides an enhancing free trade at a global level, which always helps to attempt to bring all the countries together for the purpose of trading. Along with that, due to increasing globalization by integrating the economies of different countries, that also helps the international expansion with respect to reaching a larger market. And this in turn always helps to achieve the world by building very good trade relations among different nations. And with respect to he reap with higher profits mainly depends on with the exchange of currencies. If we take in the context of India, wherein which there is a lot of difference between the price of dollar when we compare with a rupee, so that always will be greater profitable for a country like US, where our country is far more less valued compared to their currencies. And these things always assist the developing countries in their economy as well as industrial growth by inviting them to the international market. And in turn, this will also help us with respect to eliminating the gap between the developed as well as the developing countries. And apart from that, most of the time, to propel export and import of goods globally, as well as to distribute the profit among all participating countries, is another way of giving more importance for international marketing. And at the end, it always helps to maintain free and fair trade between the international countries, which always tend to adopt trade relations with each other. And when we look at the levels of international marketing, it has been segregated into domestic, export, international, as well as the global marketing. And some of the international marketing always aims to achieve all the objectives and establish the connection among the nations that participate in global trade, as well as establishing a business in one or the other home countries. And in such instances, the demand always grows as market expands, preferences changes, and the company has to abide by all the rules and regulations of two or more countries. And when we talk in terms of export marketing, we give more importance for goods which are in abundant. Only those goods will be exported after meeting the demands of domestic market. Then international market is a always separate thing where countries always try to do something like expansion and try their luck in some other nations by offering them with a quality product and services. And global marketing always provides an ample opportunity for a domestic brand to get a good exposure at a global platforms. And nowadays, you see some of the Indian brands like Mahindra and Tata as getting heaps of praises across the globe with respect to the quality of product what they are offering. And even the brand equity of Tata's is also getting enhanced every now and then, corresponding to the quality of product whatever they are offering to the individuals. And it has got a very good market, especially in Africa and in South Pacific nations like Australia and New Zealand, where some of the products like XUV 500 and Scorpio pickup trucks are getting a lot of limelight in those markets, in line with competing with some of the other global brands like Dodge, DMC, Toyota, Ford. some of the other well-known pickup trucks which are there in the market for very longer duration of time. This always helps the local companies to get a very good exposure in global markets.